Today we continue working with the yoke skirt. Now we'll start cutting. When we cut the fabric, we'll cut out the lining. I'll show you how to do it fast. Of course it will be of different cutting. Let's start working. I want to remind you that these tags have different openings for every person. So now, the new tags will also give a person a close fit. I don't draw any over measures because I don't need them. So I start cutting. The fabric is stretching, so I don't need to add much for the over measures. Remember that I drew a cut at the back. You should have 2 centimeters here in between these two parts. Don't forget that we add 7 millimeters for the seams on the curved places. It's not hard to cut if you made an accurate pattern. Notice how I folded the fabric. This part I'll use for the belt and this for the pockets. I don't add anything here because I know the body well. There are a lot of designs in which we can avoid making the tucks. I mark the center front. I'll cut a small piece here to straighten the fabric, just 1 millimeter. This is the yoke, this is the front. Let's cut the back. We don't need such a sharp angle, so I make it smooth. All the main details are ready. This is the back, and this is the yoke. Now I put these parts aside and start cutting a belt. The waist is 74 centimeters, so the belt should be of at least 80 centimeters. Before cutting the belt, we need to straighten the edge. The belt is 8.5 centimeters wide. Add 7 or 8 centimeters to the length of the waist, because the fabric will shrink when we add the adhesive material. It's better to cut the extra pieces off later. Don't ever use the accurate measurements for the belt. It's ready, so I put it aside. I just need to make the pockets. This is the upper part and this is the lower. I'll put them this way, so that I can add a couple of centimeters for the seams. I'd even better cut the first one, and then the second. And only after that, I'll cut this part off from the second one. I want them to be even. Remember that this is the side seam, so I need to add 1 centimeter here. This is the part which I'm not going to cut. It will also serve as an underlay piece. It's better to cut the other part according to the skirt and not to the pattern. Of course, we could make it in accordance with the pattern, but I want the lines to be even. You can see how I do it. Have a look here. This part of the sleeve will be covered with this one. All the parts are accurate, so we won't have any problems when stitching. Let's cut the lining. We need the pattern to do it, and the fabric can be put aside. I'll cut out the back first and then the front. Put the fabric aside and pin the pattern. I'll pin it here, and you can try to save some fabric if you want. I still want to save a piece of fabric, just in case. I pin the center back along the lengthwise grain. I pin this part close without another measure for the seam. Now I cut the tuck and open it back. The pattern for the back lining is ready. It's a one-piece pattern with one tuck. Do the same thing with the front pattern. Just don't forget that it has a pocket. We cut the small piece off the pocket, and now I pin it back. I pin the yoke here. Leave an opening here, we'll move it. Cut the tuck. And now open it back. This is the one-piece pattern with just one tuck. I'll cut it out, and the lining will be ready. Takes just several minutes to make it. I'll cut out the lining and show it to you. I add 1 cm to the seam on the center back. I don't add anything at the top because I don't need it. I know the body and the pattern really good, so I don't need to check anything. I also add 1 cm for a seam on the side. The most important thing is not to forget to draw the tuck. The back side of the lining is ready. I can detach the pattern and throw it away. We don't need it anymore. Now I just need to cut out the front part. I have all the details in front of me. The belt, the back part, the yoke, the lining, all these parts match. This is the front, all the pockets, the cut one, the hole, the yoke, and the lining. All the details are ready. It took me about 25 minutes to make them. If I did it without the camera, it would take me about 15 minutes to make it. It's very important to have a good basic pattern and make anything you want on its basis. I want to give you an advice. If you have shoes of different colors, you can just take the details you have now and transfer them to the fabric of the other colors. You don't need to add anything to it. Just cut along these details and sew. It will help you save the time on cutting. The skirt is very elegant. You can wear it every day. Choose the colors you like and make several skirts. That's all for today. Be different. My name is Paukštė Irina. Subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.